Okay? I want to know when you guys are ready. Okay? And let's get ready to have this conversation. And let's make sure that we are all locked in. I want everyone locked in. Let's get the live goal jumping. Let's get the shares out there. We're still lacking on the shares, please. And let's get the likes up because, there's a lot of people that don't want this information out there, but we're going to give it to them anyway. I wore my leather jacket because I came to do donuts on people's faces today. July 10, 2025, Jamie Alanis Garcia. Oxnard Plain, near Camarillo, California. Farm worker died while fleeing an ICE raid. Fell 30 feet from a roof while escaping agents. Killed during an enforcement operation. September the 12th, 2025, Silviero Villegas Gonzalez, Franklin Park, Chicago, Illinois, fatally shot by an unnamed ICE agent during a traffic stop. He was trying to flee. Fatal shooting by an ICE agent. September the 24th, 2025, Dallas ICE facility. Shooter Joshua Jane fired on ICE detainees from a rooftop, then killed himself. One detainee died immediately inside. A second detainee died later from injuries and wounds. Third detainee also killed. Targeted attack on detainees. October the 23rd, Josue Castro Rivera, near Interstate 264, Norfolk, Virginia, struck and killed by a vehicle while fleeing ICE agents during an attempted arrest. And then, of course, you have September 12th, 2025. Silviero Villegas Gonzalez, Franklin Park, Illinois, fatally shot by an ICE agent. Dallas ICE facility again. One killed in a shooting. One died 6 days later. Then you have January the 7th, Renee Nicole Macklin Good. And then you have, of course, Keith Porter, January the 31st, 2025 into 2026. You have September the 29th, Zubang Z died at a medical center after becoming unresponsive while in an ICE custody in Calico, California. Numerous others also reported dead. Unfortunately, names could not be issued because identities could not be qualified. So the idea that ICE has not shot or killed Americans before is absolutely salacious, felonious. It is an absolute lie. It is an absolute lie. We know, again, I'm not playing victim politics here. The only reason why we are paying attention to this ICE killing is because, unfortunately, it took the death of a white lady to be shot in the face 2 times for us to pay attention to the other killings that actually happened prior to this. Again, most of you think it's 9. I just gave you 12. There's 12. 12 documented killings that occurred as a consequence of ICE operations throughout the United States. It's not 9, it's 12. ICE has no authority over any civilian on the domestic United States whatsoever. And you can film them and you can watch them. You have every right to be a conscientious observer and document. The same way they can record you, you can record them. It is absolutely salacious to say that what happened to this woman was well deserved. No, it wasn't. The Department of Homeland Security's own act of justification, according to lethal use of force, stipulates in 4 different instances that you cannot shoot at a vehicle or at a vehicle operator, helicopter, aircraft, boat, or vehicle under any conditions where the opportunity of retreat is present. The preservation of life is essential. So, most people will disagree with this, but they're disagreeing with it not because they're intelligent. It is because they are governed by their emotions and what they think they know. There's a difference between reading the law and comprehending the law. There's a difference between being competent in the execution of said law and the comprehension of execution of emotion in the commission of an action. What that officer did is he showed that he was a closeted homosexual and was not prepared for a woman to tell him to go get some lunch, big boy. Immediately switches hands from his shooting hand right to switch hands to record with his left, and he already whipped out his firearm. What he was doing was baiting the situation and exacerbating it, and he was egging her on. In the real police world, we call this entrapment. It's where you set up a condition or a situation to exacerbate, bait, and hook someone into doing an action in order for you to validate what you did. Him putting himself in the front of the vehicle is known as officer-induced jeopardy, OIJ. You are not indemnified in said action. Now, you can disagree all you want, but you're not disagreeing with me. You're going to be disagreeing with the Department of Homeland Security's own policy, not me. You're going to be disagreeing with Department of Homeland Security's own policy, not me. So let me be very frank, very clear, very pristine, and straight to the point. The only question that I have for people on this stage right now is when Palestinians were screaming to you about Israel, and we were telling you to pay attention to Israel, when we were telling you about the unholy matrimony and alliance that our justice system has to training their people in Israel, you all ignored us. You had people that called themselves foundationally Black African who were looking at me saying, that's no concern to me. What happens to your people have no concern to me. Well, you know what? Now it does. Because what was trained over there against my people has now been brought to your doorsteps. And instead of paying attention and thinking about ways to collaborate and cooperate so that we have a bigger, more prolific voice, you decided to play race politics and dissect us even further. When we were telling people from the Latino community, when we were telling people from the Asian community, when we were telling people from all walks of life, pay attention to what happens in Palestine, because Israel has hijacked your entire Congress, your entire legislative body of system. Everyone was coming down on the Palestinians, screaming at us that it doesn't matter, that you are a one-issue voter. But they failed to understand that that one issue is the most integral issue, because without freeing Palestine of the Israeli clutches and without freeing your Congress, 80%, which is being bragged about on AIPAC, the ADL, isn't censoring China's free speech. They're censoring American free speech. Everyone ignored us. They told us, you're a Palestinian. You're a one-party issue. Who cares? You're Arab. You wouldn't understand. It doesn't matter. It's race politics with the white people. Now they're crying because one of their own got shot. It was race politics because I wasn't, with all due respect, dark enough for some folks on the Black community. They didn't want to listen to me. They ignored me on several platforms. And now it's race politics. Well, guess what? Now they're at your doorstep. Now you can see that ICE or Israel doesn't care if you're Black. Bam! They don't care if you're white. Bam! They don't care if you're Hispanic. Bam! They don't care if you're Asian. Bam! They don't care if you're American. Bam! Bam! They don't care if you're illegal or not. Bam! 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 All they care about is that you bend the fucking knee. Don't ask questions. Have your ID. Make sure you have your ID. How do I know you're American? Where's your proof? Show me your proof. Show me your ID. Where were you born? What country has this become? What country has this become? What country has this become, ladies and gentlemen? I ask you. We were so busy, people in a silo, wanted to keep Black folks in a silo. They wanted to keep the Muslims in a silo, the Christians in a silo, the LGBTQ in a silo. You over there, don't talk to each other. Let's keep dividing them, because it's easier to control people when they don't talk to each other. And then when I tell you I want to have a platform where we can come together, formulate a plan, I understand. You're going to disagree with me on a lot of things. I can respect that. But that doesn't stop us from collaborating. It doesn't stop us from cooperating. We can disagree and still hold hands, lockstep and feet, and make sure that your community is protected, because I need my community protected. You may not like my community and I may not like your community, but at the end of the day, we both got to go to the same schools. shop at the same stores, drive on the same streets, go to the same malls. We're going to get shot by the same bullets. We're going to get shot by the same bullets, right? Mo Pesci can be shot today. Why? Just because I look like it. I fit the description. I didn't have my ID on me. You look Hispanic. Come over here, sir. Where's your paperwork? Brother, I'm an American citizen. We need your paperwork. Where were you born? I was born here. I'm an American citizen. I'm good. Where's your paperwork? Stop tussling me. Stop tussling me. Mo Pesci's gone. Why? I didn't have my paperwork. I didn't have my paperwork. And it doesn't matter if you're black, Hispanic, Asian, or white. You're going to get got. And when you going to wake up, America? When you going to wake up, America? We've been telling you free Palestine, free Palestine. And I saw people looking at me, laughing at me when I would say, you should learn about Palestine. I don't got time for that. That ain't got nothing to do with me, man. I'm just trying to go to work. How the fuck you going to go to work with no ID? How the fuck you going to go to work when you got mass police kicking in your front goddamn door, searching everybody like it's the goddamn 30s in Germany? What kind of work you in? When now ICE is even threatening to start going to schools to pick kids up. How about that? How about there's some school districts getting memorandums, federal memorandums saying to them that they are obliged to listen when an ICE agent goes through the door. How about that? How about federal courts are giving them warrants to go into schools? That doesn't limit them to colleges, high schools, elementary schools, all schools. So now you're a teacher sitting there trying to teach this pre-K class ABC 1, 2, 3, and now you got 7 masked men at your door with guns looking like it's the whole fucking World War III at your doorstep, and you got to go, okay. Yeah, my name is Mrs. Gardner. We're just like learning ABCs. Miss Gardner, step the fuck aside. Come over here, 3-year-old. Come over here, 4-year-old. We couldn't get your mother and father, so we're going to get you, so they got to come to the station and claim you. That's what they do in Israel. In Israel, they will go and capture the children, knowing that the parents will have to surrender themselves in order to receive their kid. So now ICE is picking up that same model. They're going to go into your elementary schools, go into your high schools, capture the children because they know you're going to come for the kids. And then they're going to say, now we need your mother. Call your mother. Call your father. Call your uncle. Matter of fact, call your family. But you weren't paying attention when Palestinians were telling you this is what they're doing in Palestine. You weren't paying attention when we told you all bets are off. Any rights that can be given can be taken. I want you to remember this. Any right that can be given can also subsequently be taken. What are you going to do to keep your rights? Huh? You're going to still play race politics? You're going to still scream MAGA? You're going to still be crying about, we should have had the Democrats win. What you think, this wasn't a master plan? Homie, don't you realize this is all one and the same? The same Congress that would have been under one is the same Congress that would have been bought in under the other. Your executive can only execute powers that already exist. The legislative body is the one that put the power in play. Don't you get it by now? You're looking at a figurehead. Trump is just a figurehead. Trump is not the main enemy. He's just a figurehead. He can't operate under laws that don't exist. So therefore, he's operating under laws that actually exist. Otherwise, don't you think they would have taken homie out already? But they didn't, because he's operating legitimately under authority that already exists. But Americans don't understand this. They still think that the government is governed on some kind of moral compass. Bro, we don't have morality in this country. We have power. The strong rule the weak. That's it. The strong rule the weak. Now, I would love to hear from you guys. I know I said a lot. I'm going to simmer down because I know I get